Okay. Tim Walz announces he will not be running for governor next time around. Let's take a look. This is obviously amidst all the rampant fraud allegations. Nick Shirley's groundbreaking YouTube video. Let's take a look. Here is Tim Walz.
Good morning, everyone, and Happy New Year. Like many Minnesotans, I have to tell you, I was glad to turn the page on 2025. It was an extraordinarily difficult year for our state.
Remember his wife going, "Turn the page." That must be a popular phrase in the household. It's also just funny saying, hearing him say that. I bet you he is excited to turn the page on 25.
And it ended on a particularly sour note. For the last several years, an organized group of criminals have sought to take advantage of this state's generosity. And even as we make progress in the fight against the fraudsters, we now see an organized group of political actors seeking to take advantage of a crisis. I don't want to mince words here. Donald Trump and his allies in Washington and in St. Paul and online want to make our state a colder, meaner place. They want to poison our people against each other.
Man, Tim Walz is an absolute joke. Like, I made this point in another video. He's the worst politician in the world, at least that's prominent. Like, I'm sure there's some terrible politician somewhere in Norway, I don't know, but that's popular on the world stage and awful. Tim Walz, I think there's a huge gap between him and number two. Maybe number two, Elizabeth Warren, you could say. Yeah, I don't know who number two would be, but there's a lot of contenders, of course. But I think Tim Walz, head and shoulders, is above everybody else. I still cannot believe he was the VP pick. Even though the Democrats in many ways have proven to be incompetent, it still is amazing to me that this guy was VP, doing all those speeches about, oh, they're weird. J.D. Vance is weird. Trump is weird. Like, this is a live video, so I'm not going to pull up other clips, but I just saw that clip recently. He claps, him clapping like a seal, pointing like that performative matcha man. That would have been Tim Walz 30 years ago, 40 years ago, whatever Tim Walz' age is.
Each other by attacking our neighbors. And ultimately, they want to take away much of what makes Minnesota the best place in the country to raise a family. They've already begun trying to withhold funds that were meant to help families afford child care. And they have no intention of stopping there. Make no mistake.
This is such an excuse. Already this speech is just excuses, excuses, excuses. I don't think Tim Walz would have ever played sports. Like, a coach would not go for what he's saying right now. He'd be like, "Tim, cool it, buddy." But I mean, I think he was like a football coach in some capacity, some assistant football coach, but doesn't look like he played sports.
We should be concerned about fraud in our state government. We cannot effectively deliver programs and services if we can't earn the public's trust. That's why over the past few years, we've made systemic changes in the way we do business. We've gone to the legislature time and time again to get more tools to combat fraud. We've hired people we fired people who weren't doing their jobs. We've seen people go to jail for stealing from our state. We've cut off whole streams of funding in partnership with the federal government where we saw widespread criminal activity. We've put new locks on the doors of our remaining.
It's just, do people actually believe what he's saying? I mean, that part of his speech, if you just take the words itself, are fine. I'm going to totally speculate here. I've seen some people saying that Tim Walz may be in some hot water legally. Again, that's like a total speculation, so I don't know if he's motivated by that in this speech, but I mean, I also don't know if that's motivating him deciding not to run again for governor again, but man, Tim Walz. We'll just continue here.
Programs. And we've hired a new head of program integrity to make sure that those locks can't be broken. All across this state, Minnesotans are hard at work on this problem. Advocates, administrators, investigators are on the front lines defending the integrity of our state's programs. And I want to give a very heartfelt thank you to all of them. There is more to do. A single taxpayer dollar wasted on fraud should be intolerable. And while there's a role to play for everyone, from the legislature to prosecutors to insurance companies to local and county government, the buck does stop with me. My administration has been taking...
So that's not bad. I think in a little bit from the clips I've seen, he does get into the the Nick Shirley YouTube video. I don't think he mentions Nick Shirley by name, but I think he does get to that. And by the way, like, look at this flag behind him. That video where he looks around and goes, wait a minute. And then he switches the old flag to this flag, which is obviously a wink to Somalian people. This is all just so bizarre that this flag is so similar to the Somali flag. It's actually crazy. Like, if you made this up in a movie, it would look too absurd. I don't watch any of those political TV shows. West Wing, I think, is one. House of Cards. I don't watch any of them, but I think of this story, the governor of Minnesota switching the flag to look almost identical to the flag of a foreign country, and then a bunch of people from that foreign country, or ancestry as well from that foreign country, get like criticized or accused of all this fraud in the state. I think viewers of the show would think it's too stupid. It's like too on the nose. It's too direct, but that is what's happening. I've heard that also some estimates from this Minnesota fraud. I saw one number. It's like 89% of the fraud is from Somalians or Somali Americans. I mean, I don't know. That sounds so high. I even heard someone say it's even higher than that. But what is that measuring? I mean, I'm just talking, so I don't know the exact scope of that stat.
Taking fast, decisive action to solve this crisis. We'll win the fight against the fraudsters. But the political gamesmanship we're seeing from Republicans is only making that fight harder. We've got Republicans here in the state legislature playing hide and seek with potential whistleblowers.
This is so bizarre. You're in politics, bro. What do you think is going to happen? If you make a major fumble, the other political party is going to bring it up. That's incredible. Again, excuse machine. He had about a minute there where he was starting to take a little bit of accountability and then right back to excuses.
We've got conspiracy theorist right-wing YouTubers breaking into our daycares, demanding access to our children.
That is so creepy, what he just said there. I'm going to play that one more time. Demanding access to our children. What the hell? Man, Tim Walz is the worst politician in the world. I'll say that again. He is terrible. Again, for people who are also famous. Like, I'm sure there's certainly politicians in very corrupt countries who are probably a lot worse, actually, but they're not as famous as Tim Walz.
We've got conspiracy theorist right-wing YouTubers breaking into our daycares, demanding access to our children.
He can't, every interview he does is just full of garbage. Like, imagine the thoughts in his head. If these are the words that he's choosing to come out of his mouth, I mean, he must have even more deranged thoughts than this. He's such a clown.
We've got the President of the United States demonizing our Somali neighbors and wrongfully confiscating funds that Minnesotans rely on. It's disgusting and it's dangerous.
No, the disgusting thing is the fraud, the alleged fraud taking place in Minnesota. The disgusting thing is that Nick Shirley's YouTube video. Why are there no children in those daycares? The way he frames it, that access to the children, he's not breaking in. He was just going there during business hours being like, hey, what's happening here? That's just called being like a citizen of the world. You can walk around and do that. It's not like, man, he framed that like you're breaking in.
Republicans are playing politics with the future of this state. It's shameful. And I've said it before, and I will continue to say it. We welcome ideas from anyone, in any party, from any walk of life, who wants to help us continue to stay ahead of these criminals. And we welcome the involvement of the federal government. I am grateful to the career professionals at the U.S. Attorney's Office and the FBI who have been helping us fight this fight for years. But I cannot abide the actions of the political leadership in Washington. These opportunists are willing to hurt our people to score cheap points.
This is so insane. Again, just excuses. You're in politics, man. If you make a blunder, the other side is going to bring it up. And obviously they're going to use that even for political points, dude. What do you think the job that you're in? Maybe you should have gone into like landscaping, or I know he used to be a teacher. Maybe stay as that.
They and their allies have no intention of helping us solve this problem, and every intention of trying to profit off of it. Which brings me to this. 2026 is an election year.
Trying to profit off of it. How about the fraudsters trying to profit off of it?
Election years have a way of ramping up the politics at a time when we simply can't afford more of that in Minnesota. In September, I announced that I would seek a historic third term as Minnesota's governor. And I have every confidence that if I gave it my all, we would win the race.
I doubt it. I seriously doubt that. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. I mean, the one thing Tim Walz has is a lot of name recognition. Almost everybody, I think, in USA would at least know Tim Walz's name now, but it's not good. Like, he's the biggest joke, I think, in maybe global politics right now. I mean, maybe Maduro would be ahead of Tim Walz, but I don't think people have a positive view of Tim Walz. I got some other points, but I'll just keep the video going.
But as I reflect on this moment with my family and my team over the holidays, I came to the conclusion that I can't give a political campaign my all. Every minute that I spend defending my own political interest would be a minute I can't spend defending the people of Minnesota against the criminals who prey on our generosity and the cynics who want to prey on our differences. So I've decided to step out of this race, and I'll let others worry about the election while I focus on the work that's in front of me for the next year. I'm passing on this race with zero sadness and zero regret.
Whether that is the real reason, it's the right decision, I think, for Tim Walz to actually do. Again, people don't always tell you their exact rationale for doing things, but I think it is the right call that he does not run again for governor. I think that is just true. I think he should just step out of politics permanently, I would say. Go do whatever else you want to do. I don't know.
I did not run for this job to have the job. I ran for the job to do the job. Minnesota faces enormous challenges this year, and I refuse to spend a single minute doing anything other than rising to meet this moment. Minnesota has always come first and always will. That's what I believe servant leadership demands.
I mean, you ran for vice president, so that's impossible to believe.
Of me. As an optimist, I'll hold out some hope that my friends on the other side of the aisle will consider what servant leadership demands of them in the moment. We can work together to combat against the criminals. We can work together to rebuild the public's trust and make our state stronger. But make no mistake about it. If Republicans continue down the path of abusing power, smearing entire communities, and running their own fraudulent game at the expense of Minnesotans.
Man, this is a terrible speech. It's not Republicans' fault, man. You're the governor. All this crazy stuff is happening in Minnesota. How many times is he going to bring up Republicans as if he's trying to frame it that this is a Republican problem that's happening right now in Minnesota? It's actually shameful.
I will fight back with everything that I have. I am absolutely.
He'll fight back with the trying to load the gun on the that one video where he couldn't even load it. The expert, he'll fight back. The self-proclaimed knucklehead.
Confident a Democratic and a DFLer will hold this seat come November. I'm confident that I'll find ways to contribute to the state that I love long after next January. But there'll be time to worry about all that later. Today,
I didn't mean like he's using the gun to fight back. I just meant like he's an idiot. Like he does all these stupid things. I don't believe him.
I'm proud of the work we've done to make Minnesota America's best place to live and raise kids. From our new paid leave policy to our child tax credit to our school lunch programs feeding every single child. And I'm doubly proud of the incredible team we put together to make this vision a reality. I want to take a moment to thank every member of my staff, to every single state employee who has been part of this fight. Now more than ever, I need you on the job. I need you to help work together to tackle the important work in front of us. And most of all, I want Minnesotans to know how grateful I am for the opportunity to serve this state, for the privilege that I have been given to serve in this office.
There's about 40 seconds left here.
I'm on the job. I'm focused on making sure that we stay America's best place to live and raise kids. No one will take that away from us. I'm proud of the way we treat our neighbors. I'm proud of the way that we welcome people to this state. I'm proud of the way that we innovate. And I'm proud of the way that we are optimists for the future. No one's taking this away from us. Not the fraudsters. Certainly not this president. Not on my watch. Tomorrow, I'll be back with you. I'll give you an update on America's best paid family medical leave program that is now a week into it. And
yeah, so this is going to be the end. So anyway, I'll finish the video there, but Tim Walz resigns. I think that's a good thing. We'll see. I think this will probably be the last. I mean, he's going to still be in the job, though, for quite a few months, but probably he's done in politics. If you disagree with that, let me know in the comments if you think he'll pop up at some point, but I definitely think he's had probably the worst. Like, he might have even had a worse 12 months than Kamala. I don't think Kamala, I think it's still conceivable that she could be in politics in the future. Like, whether, I don't think she'll actually win the Democrat nomination. I think some people think she has a chance. I certainly don't. But I think it's conceivable that Kamala could be like the governor of California. I could see that. But I think Tim Walz is just, his political stock, I think, is almost at zero. But anyway, with that said, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Have a great day.